live with Creative English, episode 16, The Gringo's Gambit. And today, we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. And I was returning from Bahia the other day, and I thought it was really cool that on the plane, you could play chess with other passengers. And it had been years since I had played chess. But my student, JC, Mr. José Claude, had requested a class related to chess. And I said, let's see what we can do. And I'm always a fan of trying something new. And if we can mix some fun with some English into some quality practice, I'm in. So let's see what we've got. We will see if this gambit pays off. Besides being an X-Men, a gambit is a risky maneuver, usually involving a sacrifice. So I sacrificed a class that I had planned in hopes that you guys have some fun. And our warm-up, if chess pieces could talk, a little bit of chess humor. If you don't play chess, you might not get it, but it is also a way for you to get used to the chess pieces if you do not know them. And when you think of chess, what's the first thought that comes to mind? Maybe the board. I imagine that board. I think it's the first thing, chessboard or checkers board. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you know the rules of chess? Not how well do you play, just how well do you know the rules? I'm going to give myself a 9. I think I know most of the rules, but maybe there's something that I don't. And would you be willing to try playing in English? I absolutely would, and I'm hoping you will too. I asked my students, what is one of the most popular games today? It can be any type of game. Board games. We're playing a cool one here at home called Dixit. Maybe it's a video game. The Fortnites and the Minecrafts, all these Robloxes, all these crazy games that the kids love. And think a little bit. Why are they so popular? What hooks them into this new generation? So, since this is English class, I'm going to start with some vocab, and we'll learn a little bit about what these pieces do as well. Starting with the king. The most important piece in chess, I guess, because if you lose the king, you lose the game. And it can move just one square in any direction. Much more powerful is the queen, who can, again, move in any direction. Only one direction. You can't make some curves, but you can go as many spaces or squares that are available. What do I mean by available? You can't jump over other pieces. It needs to be a free square. You can go vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. We have the bishop. You get 2 bishops. There's the white bishop and the black bishop, and they only move diagonally. They're like snipers. They're hard to see sometimes, but the bishop can go as many squares as are available diagonally. We have the knight, my favorite piece, also called the horse, and it moves in an L shape, kind of like the Tetris piece. And it is unique in that it is the only piece that can jump over other pieces. It is not limited by these direct routes. In the corner, we have the rook, also called the castle, the tower in Portuguese. And it can move again as many free spaces as are available, but only vertically and horizontally. So you can think of the queen kind of like a combo of the bishop and the rook. And the little guys up front, the pawn. So a pawn, first of all, some vocab. A pawn as a verb would be when you sell your stuff, for example, to a store, your used stuff, where there's that series Pawn Stars where people buy memorabilia and old things. So pawn, or it can be a noun. It's not a good thing. If you are a pawn, you are usually the one who gets in trouble for something. And in chess, you would be like the sacrifice, the front line. You're there to get captured. And the pawn moves 1 square at a time. 2, if you would like, at the beginning in your first move. But it captures pieces diagonally. Some more chess vocab. To capture a piece, in Portuguese, we say to eat a piece. There is no eating involved. In chess, you capture the piece. And we have these guys, check, checkmate. For my Brazilian students, no, I'm not talking about the drink. A check is when the king is in trouble. It's like an alert. If you play some tennis, it's like match point. You can't do something about it, you lose. And checkmate is when you do not have any options. The king is dead, game over. But your expression of the week is a less known chess term, which is a stalemate. A stalemate is when there is nothing left to do. In chess, it is when the king is stuck, there are no moves left, and it's considered a draw, a tie. But in real life, we use stalemate to say that we are at an impasse. Nothing is moving. Maybe I want something and the other person wants something, and I'm not going to do this until I get what I want. The other person's not going to do anything until they get what they want, and we stay there, standing still, no forward movement. We call this a stalemate. A more advanced chess move would be to castle, or we call it castling. When you take the rook, you take the king, and you switch their place. Not exactly switch, but you move them around. It's a protective maneuver for the king. We have a fork. A fork is when two pieces are threatened. So, for example, if I move my knight here, and it can get both the rook and the queen, you're going to lose one. So, a person might move their queen and then sacrifice the rook. This is known as a fork. A promotion. Promotions are always good, whether they are at work or in chess. A promotion is if you can get your pawn across the board, you can turn it into another piece, usually a queen. And for the Avengers fans out there, we have the opening, the beginning, makes sense, right? But the end of the game is known as the end game. That's where Avengers Endgame comes from. So, Mr. Hiki, there you go, your favorite movie. That's where it comes from chess. Now, I like to always include something, and I had 2 different classes that asked me about this. And I think it's worth mentioning. If you learn a prefix, if you learn a suffix, you learn a bunch of words at once. So it's even more useful than learning one word. And in this case, we're talking about the suffix, the word ending word. Words like forward. For, like forehead, it's the front part. Not really common to say for to mean in front nowadays, but like on the ship, I think for is the front of the ship. So forward, moving in front. Backward, going back. Or toward, which is a mixture of 2. Like I'm going to the beach, I'm going toward that room, in that direction. Upward or downward. And team, you can say upwards, downwards as well. It's a little bit more British, but I've heard both, and they're both grammatically correct. You can say towards, upward, upwards, both are right. Homeward, in the direction of your house. So maybe you might stop at the supermarket, but you are going homeward after work. Great animal movie with 2 dogs and a cat. Homeward Bound. I remember I used to watch this on VHS. Yes, I'm old, but it was one of my favorite kids' movies. Onward, to continue on, keep going, onward. So these are some common uses of word, but you can adapt this suffix to whatever makes sense. Some practice questions. How would you reach the door from where you are standing? I would get up, I would go around my desk, and I would be looking toward the door. So I just walk forward 1 or 2 steps, and I would be there. To leave the building, I would go downward, and I'd be out of the building. Give directions from your current location homeward. I wouldn't have to do much. I am lucky to work from home. And if your friend invited you to do high rocks, would you go toward them or walk backward? High rocks. I used to enjoy making fun of CrossFit and vegans, but I think high rocks might be more fun. So I would probably walk backward, even though it is very difficult. It's like cardio CrossFit for some people who want to be in shape, but without much muscle. Our talking point this week, classic games, because it's not just chess. I grew up with chess being available in schools, at home. Maybe that's why I know how to play. But there are other ones like Go, one of the oldest games in existence from China with the white and the black circles, like little beads, I guess, that you put on. You need to, I don't know the exact rules, but I know you need to stop your opponent from being able to grow their pieces. Mancala. I'm not sure where in Africa it is from, but I remember playing this in school. It's pretty cool. It's a quick game. And backgammon, I think this might be the oldest game that I can think of, because I've heard they had proof of backgammon being played back in Egypt in the mammoth times. So it's probably one of the oldest recorded games. Team, what do you guys think? The future of board games. I'm about to show you how you can play chess in less than 30 seconds with a friend. So maybe they'll be making a comeback to the online realm. But is playing online the same as playing in person? I hope not. I kind of like that vibe of playing a board game and with your friends. But is it the same? What are the differences? What do you think? Have you seen the Queen's Gambit? I have not. I've heard good things about the series on Netflix, but I have not seen it. And chess and other media. I think the best memory I have about this would probably be Harry Potter, where Ron Weasley played the best chess match Hogwarts has ever seen. And most complex games, Andre, if you're watching, no, I don't think it is Dota. As much as you try to insist, no, I do not think Dota is the most complex game. But what do you guys think? What is the most complex, difficult game that you know? Team, I looked into some options about the best places to play chess. There's chess.com, really simple. There are apps for this. You can play on the plane like we did. But I really liked this site right here, lichess.org, just because it's so fast. I guess create a game you could play with somebody, you could play against the computer, but I really like this function right here, play with a friend. You click it. I don't know these variations, but it's normal way here, like that, boom. They give you a link, you send your friend the link, and you'll be playing in less than 30 seconds. So I really like the way how much this is practical. I think it's a great way for any chess enthusiasts to grab a partner, a study buddy who speaks some English, and you can play some chess while practicing some English. But to finish us off, some conversation starters. Team, if you are watching The Last of Us, watch the last episode. I was shocked. I did not know the story, and it was a brutal episode, but very well done. And HBO reminded us that HBO, it's at a different level. You know, there's Global, there's Netflix, there's HBO up here. So it did a great job reminding us why Game of Thrones, The Sopranos were so popular. And what is something that is considered normal today, but will one day be considered crazy? Team, this is the philosophical question that has been on my mind. And best answer that I can think of is probably this. Unfortunately, I think in about 20 years, you'll hear a lot of people towards the end of their lives saying, I wish I had spent less time on my phone. And I really don't think we will hear the opposite. Oh, I wish I had spent more time on Instagram and on my phone and TikTok and Little Tiger Game or whatever it is people like to do on their phone. So that's my question. That's what's been on my mind. If you have any thoughts, any good ideas or theories, please let me know. Other than that, thank you, and I hope to see you in class. Have a good one.